Okay, good morning everyone. Let's get started. This is the last day of Fachpack. This is the last chance for you to learn all about the PPWR. I'm Paul Rawlings. I'm the launch manager for KP Films for the food packaging division. And I'll walk you through today the challenges and opportunities facing us for the PPWR, KP's own road to circularity. Let's look at the PPWR and specifically KP solutions and how we'll resolve the challenges. And then if you have some questions, we'll walk you through. You can meet our colleagues on the stand and we can discuss your particular application. So KP, we manufacture across 2 divisions, 29 plants, and there's 17 countries across the continents of the globe. We've been around now for 60 years. It's our celebratory 60th year. You look above the sign, you'll see celebrating 60 years of KP. So specifically the food packaging division, 19 plants in 13 countries. So we'll be next to you. If you have a particular application, we'll be right by you. We manufacture thermoform trays. You might refer to them as preformed trays. You can see them in the display cases around you. We manufacture rigid films if you use form fill seal applications or if you're a converter. And we also manufacture flexible films, flexible stretch wraps. If you're into overwrap solutions, we manufacture flow wrap films, and we also manufacture high barrier lidding films. Let's jump straight into the challenges of the PPWR and what it's intended to do. Prevent and reduce packaging waste, of course, including through more reuse and refill systems, to make the packaging loop circular and economically viable, which is a key point, to safely increase the amount of recycled plastics in plastic packaging, and to decrease the use of virgin materials, which is effectively reducing our impact on the climate. PPWR, as it ramps along, this is quite a complicated slide, so if you don't mind, I will look at it. So the PPWR is already in place. The legislation is already laid down. Next year, we already start eco-modulation. So the more, or rather less recycling your products are, the more you will pay as a retailer, as an end user, you'll pay in extended producer responsibility fees. By the time we get to 2030, all products have to be designed for recyclability, and we have to prove that we've got 30% recycled content for PET, all those trays around, morning, 30% recycled content, and then 10% for other polymers. So polypropylene, 10%, polystyrene, 10%, and so on. By the time we get to 2030, we have to prove recyclability in practice at scale. So that doesn't mean one town doing it, that doesn't mean one initiative in one city. That means, to be honest, the whole country doing it, the whole European Union doing it. By the time we get out to 2040, then we start to increase those levels. So it jumps to 65% for PET and 25% for other polymers. And getting to those levels of recycled content is quite a challenge, but KP are well on the road. The majority of trays around you already contain 100% recycled PET. So minimum recycled, just as a recap, minimum recycled content, all plastic designed for recyclability, mandatory eco-modulation, so this isn't a choice, all governments will be introducing it next year if your government hasn't already introduced eco-modulation. I think one of the challenges is understanding the fees that will be applied. So generally, if you're a red, you're going to pay the most, and if you're a green, you're going to pay the least. And if you're in amber, okay. So eco-modulation is intended to drive behaviors. So if you're in red, you'll be paying the more. That will start to hurt in your pocket, and you'll start to change how you behave. You will be looking as a retailer for more green products. How do I get from red to amber, amber to green? Now, there are some challenges at the moment. If you look around, you'll see lots of certified products, and they're certified by bodies such as TCEP, by Recyclas, Intercero. So there's a huge mix of certifying bodies at the moment, and that has to change, right? So there has to be one set of rules, and that's coming. So 2026, many certification bodies, 2028, CEN and the European Joint Research Centre will have uniform design for recyclability rules. And that will be actually great and beneficial for all of us, for manufacturers and for retailers alike. So we've talked about red, amber, green. That's probably a little bit misleading, but how it will be classified by the new design for recycling is A, B, C. A being the best, C being the worst. And that's how the new systems for eco-modulation will be reported. So just as a recap, so extended producer responsibility is coming. Fees will be introduced that will be modulated. And that's going to start hitting soon if your country or organization hasn't already implemented this. So let's try to simplify it for you as KP. We see three main pillars for this: design for recycling, the amount of recycled content, and then establishing recycling streams. We as a manufacturer need those recycling streams to be in place. So we go beyond our factory walls, we develop material streams, we create pull in the market for recycled content. The little red box you see in front of us, this is the award for a 100% tray-to-tray product, made only from tray PCR. You'll see it around. I think I have one here. I do. So this is 100% PCR coming only from trays. No bottles at all were involved. No animals were hurt during the filming of this. Yeah, you know what I mean. No bottles in here. Okay. So, design for recycling. Majority of these products already have that kind of certification. And you can download the certifications on our websites. If you scan the QR codes, that'll take you to the links of all the different products. Recycled content. Majority of our trays are they will say on the bottom, if you check it, they usually have an embossed section. They'll tell you how much recycled content is in there going forward. And then, so recycling streams, as I've said, we're already working outside the walls of our factory, building these streams. The 100% tray to tray, majority of these products around you have already got 15 to 20% tray PCR coming from the recycling streams, right? We specifically hunt recyclers who look for trays. They separate trays out for us and we use that material. So there is a little booklet around, you'll see it. I was folding hundreds of them the other day. I'm sure they're still around. Yep, maybe there's one over there. So in here is really those pieces. So, oh, sorry. What we've done for you is we've broken down the three product categories that we have: trays, flexibles, and rigids. We give you the brand names down the left-hand side of the technologies. There's a little picture, there's a little icon, just so you get a feel for it. And then we're indicating on the right-hand side, recycled content, if it has it, if it's been designed for recycling, and then if we've done some clever things to manage resources. Lower energy during production, lighter materials, things of that nature. The EH23 lidding film that you'll see around, that's the thinnest on the market. If you look at KP Nova that we will go into shortly, that's one of the lightest PET trays on the market. If you create the lightest packaging on the market, you are going to reduce your EPR liabilities because they are always calculated on weight, not on pieces, right? So the amount of kilograms or tons that you put on the market as a retailer, that's what you're going to pay. If we reduce weight for you in your packaging, you'll pay less. Lower total cost of ownership. So let's look at what KP's been up to in the last year, or rather years. So we are increasing the amount of recycled materials that we put into our products. You can see increasing from 36% up to 40%. rounding up around to 40%. We are closing the packaging loop with our KP tray-to-tray technology, and we are slowly eliminating from our portfolio non-recyclable products. So things, let's not go into the detail of the portfolio, but if we discover a product that we don't deem to be recyclable, or we can't get D4R certification, we look to retire that product. And you can see 44% of our products now are classified as designed for recyclability. Now that's across the whole piece. So all of our factories, we take them through a certification process. So when we tell you this particular product has 30% coming from trays or 20% coming from trays, that isn't just us, it's an audited, certified system, either Recyclass, TCEP, they're the two main ones that we use, but all of our factories have this inspection and certification done. For rigids and preformed trays, we're moving across to the TCEP platform or endorsement. That's coming from Petcore. It's our chosen certification route. And what we need to remember is it isn't just a single component of the final pack that has to be recyclable, it's all of it. So when the pack is disposed of, let's consider a case-ready solution. So here you can see a tray, a soaker pad, some lidding film, a label, maybe some adhesive in there that's gluing the soaker pad into the tray. All this has to be considered as one unit. And then the recyclability is considered. So we can't just consider tray, great, recyclable. We have to consider the whole pack. So we can make that easier, not easy, easier for you by supplying bundled solutions. So KP is one of the only packaging manufacturers that manufacture trays, lidding films, or if you want to go form, fill, seal route, form, fill, seal materials in rigid films and lidding films. So we would always give you a bundled solution. We will offer you, for example, an Elite tray, which is a mono solution, and we'll offer for you a FlexiLid EH145R barrier lidding film that's endorsed, certified as recyclable. So let's deep dive a little bit into KP solutions. Here you have it in the little pamphlet, but you will see a little bit more broken down into all the different ranges of KP. We're showing Infinity here today, which is that brown quick service restaurant solution, all the solutions for protein trays. And then we've even started to introduce recycled material to our older polystyrene ranges. So we've launched that RXPS and RXPS MAP range. So Elite, it's a patented technology, 100% recycled material, endorsed by TCEP. It's really a great pack. It's our flagship. Gone are the days of PET PE, even mono. This is the world-class solution. Elite Nova is, I talked about resource efficiency. Elite Nova is there and just behind you. Thanks for attending. Thanks. Elite Nova really is our latest development. We've reinforced the tray. We've used finite element analysis to calculate where we really need to put material into the tray design. So we're able to save weight for you, up to 10% in this first iteration of KP Nova. KP Tray to Tray is a technology. We have sourced developed tray flake value streams, and they are going into all of our protein trays and rigid films. That again is third-party certified. They are fully circular products, and they are safe for food and deliver maximum protection for your product. There's the certificate, for example, from Pravia that has gone through the entire value chain, the entire material usage systems, and assumed, or rather with Kiva, they've audited us to make sure that the numbers that we speak about, when I talk about 30% tray to tray or 20% tray to tray, they're approving the numbers here. So I'm safe to talk about this level of addition. Lots of press for our 100% tray to tray rPET trays. The award in front of you, the trays you see on the stand. And then we've picked up the Plastics Recycling Award for this product. I think it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before yesterday, which was Tuesday. We picked up the German Packaging Award for this same product. So let's get into the challenge of circularity. So we, as a packaging supplier, manufacturer, we build value into our products. Recycled content coming from trays, and we sell that on to packers who then pack their product and sell on to retailers. Now, when in the home, domestic environment, you dispose of trays in your yellow bin, that goes through to a waste manager, and we speak to waste managers. We need to see the value in the material. When waste managers see the value in material, they will separate it, they will look for it, and they will sell that material on to recyclers. Recyclers will clean that material, send it on to us. We provide pull on the system. We need everyone to recognize that this has to be economically viable for everyone. Otherwise, you break the chain and the system doesn't work anymore. So always make sure you're asking for KP trays or KP rigid solutions, but the ones that have recycled content specifically ask about recycled content. Jumping across to rigid films, a very, very similar approach to us. We can offer KP monoseal, which is a monoseal rigid product for form, fill, seal, or converting applications. We can offer a high barrier solution that is certified or endorsed rather as recyclable we have an EVOH free solution. We have Smart Cycle, where you can configure the amount of PCR and the amount of tray to tray that you want in your particular blend. We can give you KP hot fill, which is intended to reduce some of the issues that PET faces for hot fill applications. PET starts to soften around 65 degrees. Hot fill, you can go up to 95 degrees and still enjoy all the benefits of recycled content and recyclability. So that's giving a challenge to PP solutions. We have the KPR PS range, which is a range of polystyrene ridding films that also has recycled content. And then in development at the moment are recycled polypropylene rigid solutions. But that at the moment is still in development. So just running quickly through, monoseal, a high barrier mono rigid solution that has improved sealability. It's quite complex trying to seal to mono PET solutions, but monoseal is engineered to enable you to do that. It is certified. We are always focused on reducing weight, making sure it's as low weight as possible. And that product on your machines will deliver operational savings. Reduced weight, less reel changes, great sealability. There's the high barrier version of the same kind of material, same great sealability, but it's EVOH free. Then hot fill, again, certified. I might bore you to death talking about certified KP products, but it really is the way that we handle business these days. Every claim that we make will be backed up with certification. Now let's jump across as the last section in this quick talk about our flexible barrier films. So we will offer for our, going with our MAP solutions, our elite solutions, we'll always offer you KP FlexiLid EH145R, intended to seal to PE, a certified recyclable lidding film. If you're into overwrap, we have a FlexiStretch polyolefin film, because PVC is falling out of favor in the design for recycling systems, and so polyolefin FlexiStretch is a great choice for you. And then if you look in the cabinets, you'll see the pink sponges packed inside the FlexiFlow, and that's a certified recyclable flexible flow wrap film made from polypropylene. So a quick recap on those flexible products. EH145R, a certified recyclable product offering high barrier and really will run well through your processes. The PH255R flow wrap film with the red sponges inside. And then that's the end of that kind of product review. So let's just offer you a little sweetener and a thank you for sitting through my TED talk. So lifting the lid on PPWR, there's a little QR code. You'll find it on the screen and on the pamphlets around you. If you scan it, if you sell me your details, your name, your address, your company, your contact details, then I'll send you that free little book, which really covers all the things that we've talked about today. So thank you for listening. Just a quick rundown of how KP is performing. The 4th consecutive year of Sustainalytics, gold for the 4th year for EcoVadis, and then the 2nd year that we filled in the climate disclosure report. And that's it from me. If you have any questions, look for people dressed like me, tan trousers, blue jacket, and they'll answer all your questions. Thanks a lot.